So I think with his final World Cup qualifying roster, you've kind of figured out Berhalter and some of his decisions. And I think nepotism certainly has prevailed, especially with some of his choices. Well, we'll call them Berhalter's boys. Most notable omissions are certainly Joe Scally and John Brooks. We'll break down the roster in full first. So goalkeepers, I really have no issues with Ethan Horvath, Sean Johnson, Zach Steffen being the goalkeepers. Horvath has been in good form, come up in some big moments. Sean Johnson obviously has experience and done fairly well for New York City FC recently. Zach Steffen is training again. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a match or two in this window also. So, I mean, a lot of people want to see Gabriel Slonina. I really wouldn't be surprised if he gets called up as like a fourth goalkeeper eventually or joins on at some point. But either way, no issues there. I think Horvath, Johnson, Steffen can all do a good job. Now, defenders is certainly where we see the issues. So our right back options are going to be Reggie Cannon, Serginho Dest, DeAndre Yedlin. Palmer Brown has kind of filled in as a right back before. And, of course, no Joe Scally, who has been performing wonderfully in Germany. It's pretty clear that he's not rated at this point. Maybe he gets an opportunity in Nations League over the summer. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like he's been rated whatsoever. He said there's really been no contact since the last camp he was called into. And, of course, center backs, we go with one of Berhalter's boys who's played 3 matches in the last year. Aaron Long is going to be on the roster. Eric Palmer Brown, I think, is a good addition. In reality, he's a good addition. He's good on the ball. He's looked solid for Troyes recently. Then Miles Robinson, James Sands, and Walker Zimmerman. But I certainly think we should have brought in John Brooks over someone like Long or Sands. But apparently his form doesn't matter. He's been playing fairly well in Germany, but that doesn't matter. Left back, again, pretty much just one natural left back, and that's Anthony Robinson. I'm guessing it's expected for him to play every match. Maybe we'll see Cannon move over, but Dest obviously has picked up a knock, so maybe we'll see Joe Scally, or it probably wouldn't be Joe Scally, maybe Shaq Moore. So it just nepotism is certainly the Berhalter way. That's how he got the job in reality. But midfielders, Kellen Acosta as a backup 6, don't mind that. Tyler Adams, Gianluca Busio, Luca de la Torre, Yunus Musa, and Christian Roldan. Roldan, I guess, I mean, all those caps, so he has 1 goal assist to show for it. I definitely think Georgi Mihalovic deserves a look or a call-up. I'm guessing his look would come maybe in Nations League rather than now, but I certainly think we have better options to look at rather than Roldan, who certainly showed not much in his 31 caps. I sincerely believe it should be someone like Mihalovic, but Roldan is really just viewed as like a backup option who comes off maybe later in a match. So I'm not really too bothered by it, but still, I really don't see why we can't use one of those last roster spots for someone like Mihalovic, who's really been playing well, or Alan Sonora. Either way, forwards now. A couple more of Berhalter's boys you'll see, but Brendan Aronson, of course, Paul Riola, one of Berhalter's boys. Jesus Ferreira, I think he could end up playing 1 or 2 matches, going a full 90 in them, or at least starting. I wouldn't be surprised. I think he brings a lot to us, actually, with his creative ability. As long as Pulisic and Weah, or whoever his wingers are, stay high up, and don't take the space that Jesus Ferreira is trying to get, kind of centrally. That was a big issue when Ferreira played as a center forward. Pulisic was tucked in way too much, and he wasn't making runs in behind when Ferreira was dropping deep to the ball. So I think Ferreira could really bring something to the national team also as a center attacking mid. If we ever play with one, he certainly could play there. Jordan Morris, he really has shown nothing, in my opinion, recently. But Jordan Pefok, I think, can bring a lot as a late game option with his height, his ability around the box. He's a natural goal scorer. I think we'll see him used more as like a late game option. I think he's really good for that. Give us, if we're looking for a goal, I would love to see him brought on. But Ricardo Pepe, I think even when he's not scoring goals, the team plays very well with him. There's a lot of chemistry with him and Weah, especially, I've noticed. So I really don't mind that, even though he hasn't scored goals in a goal in 5 months. Of course, Christian Pulisic has scored a goal in Champions League with very good. Gio Reyna is probably going to be another super sub type of option, maybe play 30 minutes a match. Then Tim Weah, who really has been the best player on this U.S. men's national team in this World Cup qualifier. So he's been incredible. But I think a lot of the selection goes back to the general problems with Berhalter. He has his boys, MLS boys, that really don't elevate the team too much. I have no issues with players like Miles Robinson and Walker Zimmerman because they've shown a lot for the side. And of course, Acosta has come up big when he's played as a 6 as well in some big matches. But I feel like there's plenty of other options to go for rather than Aaron Long and James Sands. There's John Brooks, Cameron Carter-Vickers. And I think George Campbell is a guy who will be on the radar, Houston's men's national team radar eventually. He's pretty athletic like Miles, but he's better on the ball, much better technically. And midfield-wise, I really think we should have seen someone like Mihalovic, another more creative option. But Reyna can also play in the midfield, so maybe that's what's the idea. Hopefully we see Reyna used as a 10 or kind of 8. Eventually, I think he's just much better central. He can play on the wing. Obviously, he's a very good dribbler, but I feel like being in those central spots, I think he just has the room and the creative freedom. I think he can really do a lot for this team. Forwards, I still think wingers, we certainly have better options than Parriola and Jordan Morris, but you can make the argument that Conrad de la Fuente has been playing much recently. Neither has Nicolas Gioacchini. So you can use that argument, but I think Morris hasn't really provided much recently. Neither has Ariola. But it is what it is. I think it's a lot of nepotism. Going back to the Berhalters boys, the fact that someone like Aaron Long can get called up after not playing for so long, while John Brooks has a couple bad matches and is completely casted out of the U.S. men's national team. That's just pretty wild to me. Let me know your thoughts. I think I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible. I think with this team, again, the lack of a left back is a problem. I'm fine with our midfield options as long as we don't have to use Christian Roldan. I would hope Reyna would be coming off getting some minutes over Roldan as a midfielder. On the wings, I do think we have better depth now, considering the fact we have Pulisic, Aronson, Reyna, and Weah. I'm guessing Ariola and Morris really wouldn't see too much time, and I hope they don't really. In reality, maybe they're just kind of one of the final players on the roster, and that's my hope. But and really defensively, I think the issues with no Chris Richards is what we'll see at center back, because I'm guessing I don't know who's going to start as a center back. If it's not going to be Walker Zimmerman and Miles Robinson, I'm guessing it'll be Palmer Brown. Or most likely Aaron Long, maybe Palmer Brown, but I'm guessing it'd be more likely like Long or James Sands or something. Maybe even Reggie Cannon, who's been playing center back recently for his club side. So I think that's really the big issue. Some of these omissions. No Chris Richards, obviously, is just starting to get back into fitness. No John Brooks. I think that's really going to hurt us. And no natural left back. We certainly could have gone even with someone like DeJuan Jones in MLS. Would love to see Jonathan Gomez called up. In midfield, I think what we lack again is another creative option. We have Reyna to give us maybe a good 30 minutes, but I would really like to see Mihalovic or Alan Sonora. And forward, I think really the main thing is we're fine. We have players who've contributed on the wings, whether it be Reyna, Pulisic, Weah, Aronson. All of them have shown the ability to come up big in moments like that. But striker, we'll see if one of them can score the big goals. Pepe hasn't scored recently for national team or club. P. Falk has come up with some big goals in some moments, like the Nations League semifinal. And Jesus and Ferreira, I think he brings a lot, but unfortunately has just scuffed some big chances. So we'll see how things go, but I just think it's another really poor roster selection because there's a lot of areas that are not covered well and clear players who are performing well who are left out. Hopefully Scally comes in for a possible injured Dest, and I just think if we don't qualify, again, it is because of just pure ineptitude of a coach, and that's what happened with Bruce Arena, just being too cocky, putting out in a terrible weather, putting out a 4-1-2-1-2. Could have just needed a point, could have just put another midfielder in, taken out one of the forwards coming off of short rest. And I feel like this is something we might end up seeing happen again, but my hopes is we can grab points in Mexico, grab 3 points there, and Panama, against Panama, grab another 3 points and just lock things up so we don't have any funny stuff happen against Costa Rica. With that, guys, let me know your thoughts. I do like some inclusions, like I said. Eric Palmer Brown, I think is good. It's nice to see Luca de la Torre receive another chance, and of course P. Falk, I think, was a player who really needed to be selected also. But and nice to see Gio Reyna back. Will hopefully contribute a good 30 minutes a match. But that, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts again. I'll be signing out now, and I'll catch you guys later.